There is a road few will ever dare to walk. It is not paved with comfort, nor is it softened by the hands of mercy. It is a road of fire, of struggle, of relentless discipline. It is the road of those who refuse to kneel, the road of those who refuse to be weak. This is the dark path to power. You were not born to be another forgotten name. You were not placed on this earth to blend in, to bow, to follow orders from those weaker than you. You were meant to rise, to dominate, to carve your will into the fabric of existence itself. But the world will fight you. It will throw every obstacle in your path. It will try to break you, to tame you, to turn you into another obedient servant. And that is why you must be relentless. That is why you must be ruthless. The question is, will you embrace the suffering? Will you become what you were meant to be? Or will you fall like the rest? The lie of easy success. They told you success was about talent, about luck, about having the right connections. They lied. Success is about endurance. It is about pain. It is about suffering more than anyone else and still standing. The world does not care about your excuses. It does not care about your struggles. It rewards only those who force it to submit. You see them all around you. Men and women trapped in mediocrity, waiting for a miracle, hoping success will come knocking. No, it won't. No one is coming to save you. No one will hand you power. If you want it, you must take it. And taking it will cost you. It will cost you sleep. It will cost you comfort. It will cost you friendships with people too weak to understand your mission. But what is the alternative? To be average? To be nothing? To watch weaker men rise above you because they were willing to suffer more than you? No, that is not an option. The price of greatness. Greatness demands sacrifice. It is the blood price, the toll you must pay. You cannot be great and stay comfortable. You cannot be strong and avoid pain. The weak flee from suffering. The powerful embrace it. Most people will never understand this. They will whine about long hours. They will complain about how unfair life is. Let them. You are not one of them. You are built for something greater. Understand this. Every time you choose comfort over discipline, you are choosing weakness. Every time you hit snooze, every time you skip the hard work, you are surrendering to the enemy inside you. You must be ruthless with yourself. You must be willing to pay the price. If you are not, step aside now and watch another man take what could have been yours. The enemy within. There is no greater enemy than the one inside your own head. That voice that tells you to quit. That whispers that you are not good enough. That begs for rest when you need to push harder. That is your true enemy. That voice is the reason most people remain weak, small, invisible. Silence it. Crush it. Dominate your mind before it dominates you. When the weak give up, you keep going. When they cry out in pain, you laugh because you know pain is the price of power. Your mind is your battlefield. Every thought, every doubt, every weakness, it is an attack against your future. You must be a tyrant over your own mind, a king that does not tolerate rebellion. When your body is weak, command it. When your emotions betray you, ignore them. When fear creeps in, destroy it. You are not here to be ruled by weakness. You are here to conquer it. Your past is irrelevant. The past does not define you. Your mistakes do not matter. Your failures mean nothing. The only thing that matters is what you do next. Some people let their past haunt them. They relive their failures over and over, drowning in regret. No, That is not the way forward. The past is a graveyard. Leave it behind. The only thing that exists is now. And now, you must move forward. You must understand this. The world does not care about where you came from. It does not care about the excuses you make for yourself. The world only recognizes one thing: results. You can choose to wallow in your past, to cry about the unfairness of it all, or you can rise. You can take every scar, every failure, every ounce of pain, and forge it into the blade that will carve your path forward. You are not your past. You are your next decision. Choose power. Pain is your teacher. Weak men run from pain. Strong men use it. Pain is not the enemy. It is the greatest teacher you will ever have. Every hardship, every failure, every heartbreak, it is all fuel. Let it burn inside you until nothing remains but raw, unstoppable willpower. The world wants to break you. It wants to mold you into another weak, obedient cog in the machine. Will you let it? Will you surrender like the rest? No, you will not. You were not meant for that life. Pain is the price of transformation. If you are in pain right now, good. That means you are being forged. That means you are changing. The question is, will you let it shape you into something unstoppable? Or will you let it crush you? Destroy your limits. Most people live inside a cage of their own making. They think they are trapped, but the door is open. They could walk out at any time, but they won't. Fear stops them. Fear of failure. Fear of judgment. Fear of the unknown. Fear is the chain that binds the weak. If you want power, you must rip that chain apart. There are no limits, only the ones you accept, only the ones you refuse to destroy. Every single person you admire, every great leader, every titan of success, they were once nothing. They were once weak, but they refused to accept limits. They refused to live small. What about you? Will you stay in the cage, or will you break free? The myth of balance. They will tell you to take it slow, to rest, to find balance. No, that is the lie of the weak. Balance is for men who are satisfied with mediocrity. If you want power, you must be obsessed. You must be ruthless. While they sleep, you work. While they party, you build. While they waste their lives, you are carving your name into the fabric of reality itself. There is no balance. There is only victory or defeat. The choice. This world is brutal. It does not care about fairness. It does not reward effort. It rewards results. You have two choices. Be a victim, complaining about how unfair life is, or be a conqueror, taking what is yours. You already know the answer. Most people will never change. They will stay weak, complaining, waiting for someone to save them. No one will. But you are different. You see the truth. You understand the dark path. You understand that to rise, you must suffer. To grow, you must bleed. To become unstoppable, you must embrace the fire. Let the others sleep. Let them rot in mediocrity. You have work to do. This is your time. This is your path. Walk it, and never look back. This path is not for the weak. It is not for those who seek comfort, validation, or ease. It is for those who demand something greater from themselves. It is for those who refuse to kneel, those who understand that suffering is the price of transformation. If you embrace these lessons, your life will change forever. You will no longer be controlled. You will no longer be a pawn in someone else's game. You will become something more, something unstoppable. Here are 8 lessons that, if you internalize them, will forge you into a force to be reckoned with. Lesson 1. Pain is the currency of power. There is a truth the weak will never understand. A truth so brutal, so raw, that most people refuse to accept it. That truth is this: pain is the price of power. Weak men cower before pain. They avoid it at all costs. They drown it in distractions. Alcohol, cheap entertainment, shallow pleasure. They numb it with excuses, convincing themselves that suffering is unfair, that life should be easier, that they should be spared from hardship. But pain is not your enemy. It is your greatest ally. If you want to rise, you must stop running from pain and start running toward it. Pain is the crucible that separates the weak from the strong. It is the fire that forges the indestructible. Every man who has ever built something great, every warrior, every king, every conqueror, was forged in suffering. Without pain, there is no transformation. Without suffering, there is no strength. Pain is the universal toll you must pay if you want to be more than ordinary. And the question is, will you pay it? Weak people seek escape. Strong men seek pain. The world is filled with people who fear pain. They spend their entire lives trying to avoid discomfort, always looking for the easy way out. They hide behind screens, wasting hours scrolling through useless entertainment because reality is too harsh. They bury themselves in vices, running from the weight of responsibility. They chase comfort, seeking shelter from the storms of life. And in doing so, they ensure that they will never be strong. You must be different. You must crave pain. You must train yourself to embrace suffering, because the more pain you endure, the more powerful you become. There is no shortcut. There is no alternative path. You must suffer, and you must learn to love it. When others run from hardship, you run toward it. When others break under pressure, you let it make you stronger. When others fall apart, you forge yourself into something indestructible. You do not escape. You do not run. You face the pain head on, and you make it serve you. The world will break you. Let it. The world is cruel. It will test you. It will beat you down. It will betray you. You will lose friends. You will face failure. You will experience moments where everything seems to collapse. And that is when most people give up. Most men, when faced with hardship, fold. They complain. They whine. They blame the universe for their suffering. But that is not the way of power. When the world tries to break you, let it. Let it shatter the weak parts of you. Let it destroy your illusions. Let it strip away every piece of you that is soft, weak, and afraid. Then take what remains, the core of who you are, and build something indestructible. If you refuse to break, if you refuse to give up, you will emerge stronger than anyone who has ever doubted you. Pain does not destroy you. It reveals who you truly are. The formula: pain plus endurance equals power. Every setback, every failure, every betrayal, it is all fuel. The more you suffer, the stronger you become. If you can learn to embrace pain, you will become unstoppable. Think of the greatest warriors, the most powerful men in history. They all endured suffering beyond imagination. They were beaten, betrayed, exiled, left for dead. But they endured. And because they endured, they rose higher than anyone else. The weak believe that hardship is unfair. The strong understand that hardship is necessary. The equation is simple. Pain plus weakness equals surrender. Pain plus endurance equals power. If you endure more than anyone else, you will become more powerful than anyone else. This is why most people never achieve greatness. They want the reward without the suffering. But there is no strength without pain. Make pain your servant. Most people are slaves to pain. They let it control them. They let it dictate their actions. You must become the master. You must make pain your servant. When you feel exhaustion creeping in, keep going. When your body begs for rest, push harder. When your mind tells you to stop, laugh, and move forward. This is what separates those who succeed from those who fail. This is what divides the powerful from the powerless. You must rewire your mind. Instead of fearing pain, use it. Instead of avoiding discomfort, seek it. Instead of complaining about hardship, embrace it as your greatest weapon. When others break, you will rise. When others quit, you will endure. When others run, you will charge forward. The man who can endure unlimited pain is the man who can achieve unlimited success. Lesson 2. Discipline is stronger than motivation. Motivation is a liar. It whispers in your ear, making promises it cannot keep. It tells you that as long as you feel inspired, you will take action. That as long as you're excited, you'll put in the work. But motivation is temporary. It is weak. It disappears the moment things get difficult. That is why most people fail. They rely on motivation. They wait for the perfect moment, the perfect feeling, the perfect energy to move forward. And when that feeling fades, when the fire dies, they stop. They retreat. They return to their old habits, their old life, their old excuses. And that is why they remain powerless. The strong do not operate this way. The strong do not rely on motivation. The strong operate on something else. Discipline. Discipline is what separates the rulers from the ruled, the winners from the losers, the weak from the powerful. If you want to rise, you must abandon motivation and become obsessed with discipline. Motivation will betray you. Most people do not understand this. Motivation is an emotion. It comes and goes. It is unstable. It is unreliable. There are days when you will wake up ready to conquer the world. Days when you feel invincible. Days when motivation fuels you. But what about the days when you wake up exhausted? When life has beaten you down? When you are empty, broken, and burned out? What then? Most people stop, and that is why they lose. You must burn this into your mind. You do not need motivation. You do not need to feel like doing something to do it. You act anyway. If you only train when you feel like it, you will always be weak. If you only work hard when you're inspired, you will never succeed. If you only push forward when it's easy, you will never be unstoppable. Discipline is doing what needs to be done, no matter how you feel. This is what separates the elite from the ordinary. Discipline is a weapon. Sharpen it daily. Discipline is a muscle, and like any muscle, it must be trained. Every time you push yourself when you don't feel like it, you grow stronger. Every time you show up despite exhaustion, you sharpen your edge. Every time you follow through when others quit, you build an indomitable will. The more you exercise discipline, the more powerful you become. Most people never train discipline. They spend their lives reacting to their feelings, their mood, their circumstances. They are slaves to their emotions. You must be different. You must take control. Do not wait to feel like working. Just work. Do not wait to feel like training. Just train. Do not wait for the right mood, the right energy, the right time. Act now. Your feelings do not matter. Your actions do. If you master this, you will become untouchable. The rule of execution: no excuses, no negotiations. There are no negotiations in discipline, no debates, no back and forth conversations in your head. There is only one rule: execute. You wake up early, whether you feel like it or not. You stick to your commitments, whether you're tired or not. You push through the pain, whether it seems fair or not. There are no excuses. There is only the mission. Most people fail because they negotiate with themselves. They make deals with their weakness. I'll start tomorrow. I deserve a break. Just one day off won't hurt. No, that is the voice of the weak. That is the voice of failure. If you want to dominate, you must eliminate all excuses. You do the work regardless of circumstance, regardless of how you feel, regardless of how tired you are. And in doing so, you forge yourself into something unstoppable. Discipline creates power. The truth is simple. The more disciplined you are, the more powerful you become. Discipline means control. Discipline means endurance. Discipline means the ability to keep going when the world tries to stop you. A man with discipline is a man who cannot be broken. When the weak fall apart, he remains standing. When the weak complain, he pushes harder. When the weak surrender, he dominates. That is power. If you can master yourself, nothing in this world can stop you. Discipline is not just about doing the work. It is about waging war against the weak part of you. That part of you that wants to quit. That part of you that craves comfort. That part of you that seeks pleasure over progress. Most people lose that war. They let their weakness win. They surrender to their feelings. They choose the path of least resistance. And that is why they stay small. But if you choose discipline over comfort, if you choose effort over excuses, if you choose progress over pleasure, you will conquer yourself. And once you have conquered yourself, the world belongs to you. You have two choices. Option 1, live like the rest, chained to motivation, ruled by emotions, always starting but never finishing, always dreaming but never doing. Option 2, commit to discipline, act no matter what, push forward relentlessly, dominate every challenge, and become unstoppable. The choice is yours. One path leads to mediocrity. One path leads to mastery. Choose wisely. Choose discipline. And never look back. Lesson 3. Comfort is a trap. There is a silent force that destroys more dreams, kills more ambition, and weakens more men than anything else. It does not strike suddenly. It does not announce itself with violence or fear. It creeps in quietly, disguised as peace, disguised as happiness. That force is comfort. Most people seek comfort like an addict seeks a drug. They chase it, they crave it, they structure their entire existence around avoiding discomfort. They want the easy path, the safe path, the painless path. And that is why they fail. The moment you allow yourself to be comfortable is the moment you stop growing. It is the moment you begin to decay, to weaken, to rot from the inside out. Comfort is a disease, a slow, quiet poison. And if you do not kill it, it will kill you. The lie of comfort. Society tells you that comfort is the goal, that success means you get to relax, take it easy, and stop struggling. That once you've worked hard enough, you can sit back and enjoy the rewards. No, that is a lie. The reality? Comfort is the beginning of decline. History has proven this over and over. Every great empire, every powerful kingdom, every dominant civilization, they all fell, not because of external enemies, but because they became comfortable. They became soft. They lost the hunger that built them. And the same happens to individuals. The man who stops training because he made it soon becomes weak. The businessman who stops grinding because he's successful soon becomes irrelevant. The fighter who stops pushing himself because he won soon gets defeated. The moment you choose comfort over growth, you have already lost. Comfort makes you weak. There is a reason warriors seek the struggle, a reason why the strong embrace hardship, a reason why the greatest men in history lived in discomfort, trained in discomfort, and thrived in discomfort. Because they knew that comfort is the enemy of strength. Comfort makes you slow. Comfort makes you lazy. Comfort makes you fragile. You see it everywhere. Men who once had fire in their eyes, now dull, lifeless, and soft because they embraced comfort. They no longer push themselves. They no longer fight. They are content with mediocrity. That is not your destiny. If you want to rise, you must seek discomfort. You must live in it. You must become addicted to it. How to break free from comfort? You must retrain your mind to embrace suffering. You must seek out the struggle. Wake up earlier than you want to. Train harder than you think you can. Push yourself longer than you believe is possible. Do the things that others hesitate to do. The weak run toward comfort. The strong run toward suffering. Every day, you should be doing something that makes you uncomfortable. Every day, you should be challenging yourself to go further, to endure more, to expand beyond your limits. The moment you start enjoying discomfort, the moment you start thriving in pain, that is when you become unstoppable. The trap of success. Comfort is not just the enemy of the weak, it is the enemy of the successful. Many men work hard until they reach success, until they make enough money, until they achieve their goals. And then they slow down. They stop pushing. They stop suffering. They start indulging in comfort. And that is when the downfall begins. Success is not a finish line. It is a war that never ends. You cannot stop. You cannot relax. You cannot slow down. The moment you do, someone hungrier, someone stronger, someone more disciplined is coming to take what you built. Stay sharp. Stay relentless. Stay uncomfortable. Choose the hard path. The easy path leads to nothing. It leads to mediocrity, regret, and weakness. It leads to a life of wasted potential. The hard path is where greatness is forged. Most people will avoid suffering. That is why most people will never achieve anything great. You must be different. You must make suffering your ally. You must make discomfort your home. Because in that suffering, in that discomfort, you will find power. The only question is, are you willing to embrace it? Lesson 4. Emotions are not your master. Most people do not control their emotions. Their emotions control them. They wake up happy, so they work hard. They wake up tired, so they do nothing. They feel motivated, so they push forward. They feel afraid, so they hesitate. They are slaves to their emotions, and that is why they fail. The world is filled with men who never achieve anything because they let their feelings dictate their actions. They let fear hold them back. They let doubt keep them weak. They let sadness, anxiety, and frustration steal their energy. And in doing so, they remain trapped. If you want to be powerful, if you want to be unstoppable, you must break free. Emotions are not reality. Most people believe that their emotions are the truth. They think that because they feel something, it must be real. But that is a lie. Emotions are illusions. They are temporary. They are unreliable. They change from moment to moment, hour to hour, day to day. Think about it. You wake up feeling weak. But are you actually weak? No. You feel like quitting. But do you actually need to? No. You feel afraid. But is the danger real? Most of the time, no. Your emotions lie to you. They try to manipulate you. They try to make you take the easy way out, to avoid risk, to avoid discomfort. And the weak listen to them. The strong, they ignore them. They recognize emotions for what they are: noise, background interference, distractions. The weak act based on how they feel. The strong act based on what needs to be done. Which one are you? Master your emotions or be controlled. There are two types of people in this world. 1. Those who control their emotions. 2. Those who are controlled by their emotions. Most people live their entire lives at the mercy of their feelings. They wake up one day motivated and decide to work hard. The next day they feel lazy, so they do nothing. They get excited about a goal and chase it for a week. Then doubt creeps in, so they quit. They get angry, so they lash out. They feel sad, so they stop pushing forward. They have no control. They are puppets, and puppets do not succeed. You must be different. You must master your emotions. Feel fear? Move forward anyway. Feel lazy? Work anyway. Feel tired? Push harder. Feel doubt? Crush it with action. It does not matter how you feel. It only matters what you do. This is what separates those who win from those who lose. The world runs on emotional slaves. Understand this. The world is designed to manipulate weak people through their emotions. The media floods you with fear to control your mind. Social media feeds you outrage to steal your attention. Marketing companies trigger your desires to drain your bank account. Weak people try to provoke you, to drag you into their misery. And the masses fall for it every single time. They get angry over things they cannot control. They get depressed over situations they could fix with action. They get distracted by nonsense while their lives fall apart. Why? Because they never learned how to control their emotions. You must rise above them. You must become untouchable. They try to make you afraid. You remain calm. They try to make you angry. You remain focused. They try to break you emotionally. You keep moving forward. A man who is in control of his emotions cannot be controlled by anyone else. Decide your actions. Do not react. Most people react to the world. They go through life on autopilot, allowing emotions to dictate their decisions. They get hurt, so they retreat. They get anxious, so they freeze. They feel comfortable, so they stop pushing forward. But the strong do not react. They decide. They do not wait to feel ready. They do not hesitate when things get tough. They do not let emotions interfere with the mission. They wake up tired. They execute. They feel fear. They act anyway. They face doubt. They silence it with action. This is the difference between being ruled and being in control. The moment you stop reacting and start deciding, you become unstoppable. The formula for emotional mastery. How do you master your emotions? You rewire your mind. Recognize the emotion. Instead of letting it control you, pause. Acknowledge what you are feeling, but do not obey it. Separate fact from feeling. Ask yourself, is this emotion based on reality, or is it just noise? Act based on logic, not emotion. Decide what must be done, then do it, regardless of how you feel. Repeat daily. Every time you override your emotions, you become stronger. Every time you act despite fear, hesitation, or doubt, you increase your power. The more you practice, the less control your emotions will have over you. Until one day, you wake up and realize you are free. The difference between success and failure. The weak let emotions dictate their actions. The strong dictate their actions regardless of emotions. The weak allow feelings to paralyze them. The strong use logic to push forward. The weak make excuses based on emotions. The strong execute no matter what. And that is why the weak stay weak, and the strong rise to power. You have two choices. 1. Continue letting your emotions control you. Stay weak. Stay hesitant. Stay trapped. 2. Take control. Silence your emotions. Execute regardless of how you feel, and become unstoppable. The world is controlled by emotional slaves. Will you be one of them? Or will you break free